This video will stick to the basics and provide an overview of qualitative research. Your learning objective is to understand the key principles and importance of qualitative research. At its core, research is essentially trying to get the most clear and accurate picture of a phenomenon. Especially in public health, we know community is the expert. Whether there's a lack of transportation in an area or cultural norms that dictate health behavior, it is the community that sheds light on a phenomenon as they know it best. Thereby, they know how to study it best. From a researcher perspective, this requires us to be humble in our approach, since we may be coming from academic spaces that are often removed from the on-the-ground work. Unlike quantitative research, which focuses on numbers and statistics, qualitative research explores the why and how of human behavior. We would not have the quantitative side of research without qualitative information pointing us towards what needs to be measured. The strength of qualitative research lies in its ability to tell a story, often from the perspective of those directly involved in it. Again, tying back to how community is the expert. Qualitative research is a method used to gain an in-depth understanding of people's behaviors, experiences, and interactions. And for this, context really matters. We're thinking of how people relate to their surroundings, community, and places. Qualitative data can help provide this rich information. Take a minute to think about your experience with qualitative research. Think through how you went about it. What aspects were easy, challenging, or confusing? And what aspects could have made the experience better? With any research, it is important to think early on about what lies ahead. This helps to better plan for how you want to collect and share data. Below are concepts of the research roadmap. Let's go through these, but know that they are not listed in a specific order yet. Sharing. How should you present your data? It is important to think through your results and how you will be presenting this information you learned. Communicating the results of your research requires time and foresight. Question: what do you want to know? It is essential to identify your research question and what you want to know. The research question should be clearly defined. It involves developing a conceptual framework for justifying the research, methodology, and perspective of future interpretation. Know that your research question itself may change as you work throughout your study. Analysis. What does your information tell you? Gathering the data won't have meaning unless you analyze it. You will need to look at the data to find patterns, relationships, or insights. Collection. How should you collect information? Think ahead about how you will gather data and evidence from various sources. This can often limit or expand the scope of your research. The target population needs to be specified, and the manner in which outreach will occur. It is also important to balance collecting only what is needed to answer your research question, while also having enough information to draw sound conclusions. Your goal is to make sense of the information to answer the original research question. Now take a minute to write down the order that you think these boxes should be listed. What comes first, and go from there. This would be the order for your research roadmap. You begin with your question, data collection, data analysis, and results sharing. While they are listed out here in an order, it is again important to think ahead and plan for each element of this research roadmap. The concept of truth, or what research is trying to elucidate, may not be fully captured due to the method of data collection or sometimes lack of measurement. We are trying to get an accurate and clear picture of the truth, with a capital T, where there may be many ways to show what is true. 4 concepts of the planning phase are important to understand here. Research involves iteration, or repetitive processes to develop high-quality results. For example, when coming up with a research question, we repeatedly ask ourselves, what are we trying to study? And what have we envisioned so far? Does it capture what we want to show? Data collection and analyses are also modified through an iterative approach. When you actually begin this phase, certain barriers or challenges may arise that may shift your original plans. So it's important to always come back and revise as necessary. Reflexivity is when researchers examine their own feelings and reactions and how those can influence their research. Reflexivity helps to minimize research bias. We are all humans and are subject to our own preconceptions or feelings about certain topics, and this can affect how we conduct research. Making effort early on to avoid these issues helps to create valid research, where your results actually reflect the phenomenon you studied, or the truth. The goal is to get valid findings, and there are many ways of ensuring this, including minimizing bias or using the correct survey instrument. Quality control procedures can also help reach this goal. For example, in qualitative research, triangulation is the use of multiple data sources, researchers, or methods to cross-check and validate findings. Inter-rater reliability is a measure of agreement among 2 or more researchers who are assessing the phenomenon of interest. There is also member checking, where participants share back data with researchers to ensure shared understanding and overlap in the findings. These are important methods in community-engaged research to make sure what is conveyed was interpreted correctly. They help to ensure high-quality research. These are important methods in community-engaged research to make sure what was conveyed is interpreted correctly. They help to ensure high-quality research. Let's play in other words. What does it mean for a study to be robust? Think about this term that you may have heard before and what you think it means. Take a minute to pause and write down your thoughts. While it may sound complex, robustness is related to some of the simple concepts we have been covering. It is about ensuring the study results remain valid and reliable under different conditions. A robust study means that even when certain variables are changed, the findings are largely unaffected and they are reproducible. Robustness requires correct study design and correct study implementation. Here are helpful resources and references for you to explore further before moving on to the next video. See you there!